Hello, here's the news at this hour on Tstv. I am Mobola Badekale. Here are some major headlines. ASUU tells students' parents not to expect suspension soon. Defunct SARS operative undergo medical psychological tests in IBADAN. United States aim to cut troops level in Afghanistan and Iraq by mid-January 2021. And in the water sport, QATAR to host tourney again in February 2021. And now, the news in details. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, said through its Abuja Zonal Coordinator, Professor Theophilus Lagi, on Tuesday that there is no end in sight to the lingering varsity teachers' strike. Lagi, who spoke at a news conference at Gwagwalada, Abuja, attributed the decision not to suspend the 8-month-old job boycott due to the alleged lack of commitment on the part of the federal government. President Muhammad Buhari on Tuesday, who was represented by the Executive Secretary, National Universities Commission, NUC, Abubakar Rashid, at the 72nd Foundation Day convocation ceremonies of the University of Ibadan, Oyo State, said the president described as unacceptable the prolonged disruption of the academic calendar of public universities, however, urged the striking lecturers to return to classroom. Meanwhile, Lagi reminded members of the union of the advice to seek other legitimate means of survival, as the government has not released salaries withheld since February 2020. The federal government has announced that international flights from Ento, Kano, Port Harcourt, and Enugu airports will resume before December 25, 2020. It also lifted flight ban on Lufthansa, KLM, Air France and Qatar Airways, thereby paving the way for them to resume their operations in and out of the country. Minister of Aviation Adi Sirika explained in a statement yesterday that the ministry liaised with all relevant authorities to ensure that the airports and the international airlines meet all safety and requirements. The minister expressed satisfaction over the understanding and cooperation of aviation stakeholders in ensuring the smooth reopening of the nation's airspace. Scores of members of the defunct Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS, have commenced compulsory psychological tests to determine their mental state. The medical examination is in partial fulfillment to the 5-point agenda of the end-SARS protests, as instructed by the Inspector General of Police in accordance to Section 810 of the Police Act and Regulations. In a statement by the Oyo State Police Public Relations Officer, Mr. Olubenga Fadeyi, the Superintendent of Police SP, said the psychological evaluation test was carried out by the newly constituted Police Counseling and Support Unit, PCSU. The state police boss charged the personnel of the defunct SARS unit to embrace human rights-based policing should they be posted to the new formation. Speaking on psychological tests, the Commissioner of Police explained that the exercise was divided into 3 stages with the aim of first debriefing the personnel, evaluating them medically, and then psychologically. President Muhammad Buhari has on Tuesday warned the Governing Council and management of the University of Ibadan against manipulating the process of the appointment of a new Vice-Chancellor. The President explained that his administration was worried by the avalanche of petitions, many bordering on serious allegations of bribery and corruption, as well as disrespectful due process in the course of selecting new Vice-Chancellors in some of the federal universities. Buhari, whose speech was read on his behalf by the Executive Secretary of the National Universities Commission, NUC, Abubakar Rashid, stated this during the 72nd Foundation Day and convocation ceremony of the university. He maintained that his administration would not hesitate to dissolve or suspend any council or its leadership found wanting in observing due process. He said, as Nigeria's premier university, the University of Ibadan is expected to live up to its billing by conducting open, transparent, fair processes in the appointment of a new Vice-Chancellor. The news on Tstv will be back right after this. And now to some foreign stories. Acting Defense Secretary Christopher Miller said on Tuesday that the United States who reduces troop levels in Iraq and Afghanistan to 2,500 personnel members per country by January 15, 2021. National Security Advisor Roberto Brim separately said he hoped the United States could completely wind down by May, though the Trump administration would no longer be in power by then, and it remains to be seen what President-elect Joe Biden will do. Added that troops remaining will defend United States diplomats and other agencies. According to reports, the country currently has about 4,500 troops in Afghanistan and 3,000 in Iraq. Miller, speaking from the Pentagon, said the United States drawdown was seeking to end generational war and not to the length of the foreign conflicts. Donald Trump on Tuesday has fired the government's top election security officer, who had rejected the president's claims of massive fraud in the vote he lost to Joe Biden. Trump announced on Twitter the termination effective immediately of Chris Krebs, who leads the agency that jointly declared the November 3rd election was the most secure in American history. Trump, who refuses to acknowledge that he lost his bid to Joe Biden, has reportedly claimed that the voting and count were replete with fraud. However, Krebs, who reportedly told friends last week he expected to be removed, appeared to confirm it in a tweet on his personal account. CNN has reported during an investigation that thousands of young people who have been protesting against police brutality as part of a largely peaceful movement called SARS turned deadly as the army and police moved in on unarmed civilians on October 20, 2020. The Nigerian army has called allegations that it fired into the crowd fake news and told the judicial panel of inquiry that it did not fire any civilian, but a new CNN investigation suggests this is not true. CNN has obtained and geolocated a photograph of protester Victor's body lying in a pool of blood and wrapped in the white and green of the Nigerian standard, one of the same flags gripped by fellow protesters earlier in the evening as they sang the country's national anthem. Recall on November 14th, during a judicial inquiry into the shooting, Army Representative Brigadier Ahmed Taiwo told the panel there are no ways officers and men will kill their brothers and sisters, but an investigation by CNN into the disputed event has cast doubt on authorities' shifting and changing statement. Evidence of bullet casing from the scene match those used by the Nigerian army when shooting live rounds, according to the current and former Nigerian military officials. Verified video footage using timestamps and data from the video files shows soldiers who appeared to be shooting in the direction of protesters. And accounts from eyewitnesses established that after the army withdrew, a second round of shooting happened later in the evening. Meanwhile, CNN says its calls to the Nigerian army have not been returned. And finally, the exciting world of sport, FIFA Club World Cup 2020 will take place in Qatar from 1st to 11th February 2021, as it will be the second time Qatar has played host to the world's Continental Club Champions after successfully staging the 2019 version of the tournament, which was won by Liverpool FC. The upcoming FIFA Club World Cup was due to take place in December 2020, but was delayed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The number of COVID-19 cases remains low in Qatar, and it is hoped local fans will be able to attend February's tournament, while ticketing details will be announced in due course. Two teams have qualified for the tournament to date: host nation representative Al Duhail, the reigning Qatar Star League champions, and UEFA Champions League winners Bayern Munich, as the 5 remaining participants will be confirmed over the next 3 months when qualification tournaments are concluded. Nigeria Super Eagles play out a goalless draw against Sierra Leone in the reverse fixture of the AFGHAN qualifying match at the Siaka Stevens Stadium in Freetown. Nigeria went into the match on the back of a disappointing 4-4 draw last Friday at the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium in Benin City, with a promise of a better performance. Leicester City's Kelechi Iheanacho blew what was Nigeria's best chance in the game, blasting over the goal after he was put through by Samuel Chukwueze in the 59th minute. Nigeria will still top the group with 8 points and face Benin Republic in March 2021. And with that, I've come to the end of the news recap of the major headlines. ASUU tells students, parents not to expect suspension soon. Defunct SARS operative undergo medical psychological test in IBADAN. United States aim to cut troop levels in Afghanistan and Iraq by mid-January 2021. And in the water sport, you heard Qatar to host tourney again in February 2021. Please do not forget to always adhere to COVID-19 safety measures. The news was compiled by her, GJOK, I am Mobola Batte Kale. Good day. Thank you for watching.